Thank you, Daniel. So now let's turn our attention to the people that are going to help make this real, Kevin and Bill. First, I want to re-examine some budget numbers to put things into perspective. 10.5 billion for the city of Los Angeles, 348 million for street repairs, but only 3.76 million for emergency management. And for the LA Fire Department, 675 million, and most of that, 640 million, are for salaries and overtime. So what do we need? 16 million, less than 5% of the money spent on street repairs. And we are pursuing an aggressive timeline. We will have our initial field test at 180 days and a fully functioning beta at 270 days. So to assess the business validity, we looked at publicly available data sets, and when we mined through this data, we identified some problems. What does that mean to you? Not only do we have a chance to save lives here, we also have a chance to help improve your analytics to be meaningful and impactful. So problem one was with data entry. When I mined through the data, I found gaps and discrepancies because there's no mechanism to automatically check for these types of issues. It's a manual, cumbersome effort. As you can see here at the top, a call is initiated at 11:58, and a report run on this is going to show the issue was actually resolved 24 hours before it was created. So this is your data. How can you possibly succeed in a complex battle like this with the odds stacked against you? Issue number two, faulty analysis. So Kevin and Bill, I know you might say, Jeremy, the stats on the public city website show an average response time of 6 minutes and 39 seconds. But that's not an accurate picture of reality. First of all, that's an average of traffic at midnight, at 1 a.m., at 2 a.m. It doesn't capture the critical, most peak hours of service. And I also want to point out here, if you'll notice, that data is averaged over an entire day. What we're proposing with our solution would give you data transparency in real time. So what's the value in that? Knowing how many calls were not answered in the first 10 seconds, knowing how many calls took more than 12 hours. And specifically, knowing that the stats on an emergency call that happens at 3 p.m. during rush hour traffic took over 26 minutes. And what does that mean? Well, let's consider 90% of the out-of-hospital cardio infarctions are fatal. Every minute without CPR, the survival rate drops by 7 to 10%. Brain death starts after 2 minutes. And at 3 minutes, global cerebral ischemia, which can lead to worse and more severe brain damage. By 9 minutes, the brain damage is irreversible, and that's when that starts. And even if you do manage to resuscitate that person, 8 out of 10 will either be comatose or have some level of permanent brain damage. Now, let's quickly review history here. What I want to do is bring it back to aligning with several initiatives that leverage technology and smarter processes to improve the quality of life for LA residents. And the city of Los Angeles has already started this journey. Kevin, just a reminder, LA County Health Agency was originally 3 separate agencies prior to 2016, until the interim CEO, Sachi Hamai, oversaw that initiative to collapse them. The Department of Health Services, the Department of Mental Health, the Department of Public Health has now been collapsed into a single agency. And why? Why was this done? Better alignment to improve health outcomes, reduce disparities, address several major service gaps, streamline access to care, and maximize revenue generation. And the key to this was using technology, data, information exchange to enable this service integration. Bill, our proposal fits in with a larger 5-year strategic plan for LA County. Goal number 1, make investments that transform lives, directly from LA County CEO Fezia Davenport. This plan was the response: mobility, workforce empowerment, and especially data as utility. This is a major benefit of what we're proposing. Not only a much richer and more accurate information set, but by automating the flow of data, you can reduce human error and give you real-time transparency. So now let's take a quick glance at the platform. We will have more details in the appendix, but let's just review at a high level the various components. So first, the drone UAV. This is the hardware that will transport patients, EMT agents, and medical supplies. And we're looking at a couple different solutions here. The drone operating system. This is what runs the autopilot software, among other things. This needs to do the real-time machine learning, for instance, to detect, are there people in the landing zone? Is it unsafe to land here? Is there traffic routing that's more optimal? The medevac platform, which will be the main data lake and data housing for all of this information. It will have interfaces for patients, agents, medical staff, managers, etc. And I assure you the encryption we use will be fully HIPAA compliant. And lastly, the mobile app, which will be on both Droid and iOS. It can leverage video chat for emergency bystander instructing, as well as the GPS tracking on the mobile device. So that's it. We thank you for your time and look forward to answering any further questions.